When the world swears by your futuristic technology and products, your office needs to be futuristic too. And what could be more futuristic than a campus that is spaceship-shaped and has everything inspired by the flagship product, iPhone? Apple is not just a company, but a huge institution that has changed the world. One of the most successful and beloved brands in history, which determines the consumer behavior of smartphones over 10 years. In 2017 alone, Apple's revenue was nearly $230 billion, more than much of the world. Apple are the gods of innovation, marketing, and giving a really special feeling to the owners of their products. Even if you're not a fan of the company, there's hardly anyone who can deny what an incredibly different feeling it is to touch a new iPhone or Mac for the first time. The company gives a sense of uniqueness without competition. Apple is a conglomerate with enormous influence and resources. That's why they can afford to do amazing things that no one else can. One of them that has delighted the world is the new marvel of modern technology and architecture, Apple Campus 2, also known as Apple Park, the last will of Steve Jobs. The campus is located in Cupertino, California, and is Apple's new headquarters. It opened its doors to employees in April 2017, although construction work has not yet been completed. The headquarters is the new home of over 12,000 key Apple employees. Due to its bizarre round shape with an external composition mainly of glass, the building received the nickname Spaceship. It's located on a 71,000 square meter area, and the building itself is 7 floors, 4 above ground and 3 underground, with a total area of 260,000 square meters. It has a diameter of 460 meters, but to go around it all, you have to walk 1.6 kilometers. Despite the impressive size of the building, as much as 80% of the park remains green areas planted with drought-resistant plants typical of the region. The cost of this pleasure is a staggering $5 billion, of which $160 million is for the land alone, parking spaces for over 14,000. The devil is in the detail. Steve Jobs, on his own initiative, started plans for the building in 2006, and the whole concept and idea is his. Unfortunately, he never lived to see his case realized. Construction of Apple Park began in 2014. It quickly turned out, however, that it is extremely difficult to implement. Some of the best architects and designers in the world work on it, making it, on paper, an absolutely perfect work of art. Of course, something done in the best, meticulous, and luxurious way turns out to be almost impossible to realize in reality. The plans of the building are so high and so good that even the most experienced and reliable construction companies make great efforts to implement the project. That is why it's delayed by more than 2 years. The result, however, is one of the most luxurious and large-scale buildings in the world. More than 13,000 workers have taken part in the construction work, many of whom are giving up due to very demanding requirements, even to the highest professional standards. The instructions for the use of special wood in the building alone were nearly 30 pages long, and wood was not the main material of the spaceship at all. No less difficult to implement was the interior design, which absorbed $1 billion from the budget. Inside, like the exterior, absolutely everything is made of glass. There are practically no conventional walls in the building. The idea is to impose the concept of freedom, open space, and full transparency. Everything in the building is fully in line with Apple's image. The buttons on the elevators looked like those on a Mac, and according to some, the toilets looked like an iPhone. This may sound absurd, but it is purposeful. Apple wants to give the building's employees and visitors the same sense of specialty, perfection, and simple genius that their own products give. Dozens of companies worked on the construction of Apple Park, and all were amazed by the absolute meticulousness to detail with which Apple approaches the construction. One of the owners of such companies says it took him a year and a half to create the perfect door handle for the building. When, after dozens of attempts, he finally made a perfect product, one of Apple's top executives rejected it again because he felt roughness. The creator of the handle tried to find any roughness, even with a microscope, but it didn't exist. In the end, no decision was reached, and his company terminated its contract with Apple. Such stories are told by everyone involved in the project, from the fire experts who took many months of negotiations to reach a compromise with Apple to the teams that created the doors because they wanted something incredible from the company, no door in the building to have thresholds. The future is here. The building itself is unique in that it has no columns, although it has 4 ground and 3 underground floors. Its roof is made of special carbon produced by a Dubai company weighing over 80 tons. Besides all this, the futuristic building is composed entirely of the most expensive and environmentally friendly materials. The main one is glass, each panel with a width of about 10 to 14 meters and 3 meters long, weighing up to 3 tons. More than 9,000 trees are planted in the center of the building, and 100% of the energy it consumes comes from environmental sources. Last but not least, this is the largest building in the world designed to self-ventilate. For 9 out of 12 months of the year, it does not use an artificial air conditioning system. Of course, the building offers an absolute sense of comfort to its employees, making them feel like they're in the future, but also in contact with nature. It is equipped with its own huge theater, gym, cafe, restaurant, shops, and much more. The parks offer over 2 kilometers of walking paths only for employees, among which there are corners with orchards and vineyards, meadows, and ponds. Would you love to work at Apple Park? Do you think all the extra innovation was necessary, or did Apple go a little bit overboard? Let us know in the comments down below.